Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maria. I'm a vlogger mom, and I love blogging and talking about my favorite things. Right now, I really wanted to share a great book that my dad and I had published for law students and lawyers alike, like a reference material for criminal law. So I just want to show you the book again. This is the Criminal Law Case Digest that reviews cases and materials on the Revised Penal Code and other penal laws of the Philippines. So my dad had compiled 440 cases in here, and what I intend to do is to just read different cases from the chapters, and hopefully we all learn together. So in the previous video, I read the first case regarding Alberto and the police officer Brasinio. I also mentioned something about participes criminis, or participants in a crime. As we go through the book, especially in this chapter, you can refer to the previous videos about like different terms that I am reading about and we are using in the cases. So let's go to case number 2. The facts. Cirillo detonated a hand grenade under the hut of Rosendo Sr., intended to kill Rosendo Sr., but instead killed his son Resty and seriously injured 4 other family members, 2 of whom sustained fatal injuries which could have caused their death had they not been accorded prompt medical treatment. So what is the crime, or what are the crimes committed by Cirillo? A. Complex crime of murder with double frustrated murder and double attempted murder. B. 1 case of murder, 1 case of double frustrated murder, and 1 case of double attempted murder. C. Reckless imprudence resulting in homicide and multiple serious physical injuries. Or D. No criminal liability on account of mistake in identity. The answer is A. Complex crime of murder with double frustrated murder and double attempted murder. Why A? A complex crime is a single act which results in the commission of 2 or more grave or less grave felonies, or when an offense is committed as a necessary means of committing another. In this case, the killing of Resty and the fatal injuries sustained to 4 other members of his family constitute a complex crime, as they are 2 grave felonies resulting from 1 single act of detonating a hand grenade. So case number 7. Here are the facts. The victim was standing in front of the parlor while waiting for his wife when he was stabbed by Peralta on the chest. Peralta came from behind him and yanked the victim's shoulder in order to inflict the fatal blow. So you have 4 choices. What is the crime committed by Peralta? A. Homicide. B. Death in a tumultuous affray. C. Murder. Or D. Reckless imprudence resulting in homicide. The answer is actually C. Murder, because there is trickery. Trickery involves premeditation, involves intent to hurt the person, no matter if his intent was just to scare him or to hurt him or to send him to the hospital. There is still trickery that qualifies it as murder. The essence of trickery is a swift and unexpected attack on the unarmed victim, without the slightest provocation on the part of the victim. That's also another qualifier. The victim never said or did anything at the moment and was just swiftly attacked by the perpetrator, Peralta. For trickery to qualify homicide to murder, it is necessary that at the time of the attack, the victim was not in a position to defend himself and that his assailant consciously and deliberately adopted the particular means, methods, or forms of the attack employed by the perpetrator. Trickery is present when the attack comes without warning, is sudden and unexpected, and the unsuspecting victim is not in a position to avoid the assault or to protect himself. In this case, the victim was stabbed on his chest while the stab wounds appears frontal at the time of the fatal attack. The victim at that moment was unaware of what would happen to him and was not given an opportunity to defend himself or retaliate. That everything in that paragraph that I just read and the reasoning that I just gave you qualifies everything to murder. Trickery in any event that you hurt somebody and they die qualifies as murder. So I'm gonna read another case, and then after I will be talking to you about circumstances that aggravate criminal liability. So there are different circumstances, and if you're a law student and you've taken criminal law 1 and 2, you would know that these are justifying, exempting, mitigating, aggravating, and alternative circumstances. So I will explain that after a few more cases that I read to you, so you can refer back and forth. Okay. So I'm going to read about case number 8. Here are the facts. Mr. A and Mr. B were discussing politics. Mr. B got annoyed or irked when Mr. A accused his candidate of having won the election through massive vote buying. Very rampant in the Philippines. They were still exchanging heated words and invectives when Mr. A stood up to relieve himself. As he turned to go to the nearby men's room, Mr. B stabbed him on the back. What is the crime committed by Mr. B? A. Homicide. B. Death in a tumultuous affray. C. Murder. Or D. Reckless imprudence resulting in homicide. Kind of mention a footnote that my dad used for this case. It is People versus Marcelino. So the explanation why homicide is the answer is that in trickery, what is decisive is the execution that the attack made it impossible for the victim to defend himself or retaliate. It's the unawareness of the victim of the attack and that it is happening without him knowing or being aware of his surroundings. Just like where Peralta had gone from went in the back of the victim and stabbed him on his chest. There was no way that the victim could defend himself. So now, here in this case with Mr. A and Mr. B, they were in a heated argument. So that puts both parties aware that there was a heated argument and that it puts both parties on guard, right? Like they would have an idea, oh, I made this other person really mad at me. I better watch out because he might hurt me. So those two are different circumstances with Peralta and Mr. A and Mr. B. So the fact that the victim was stabbed in the back did not necessarily make the attack triggerous. Why? Because aggression from behind, when it is preceded by a heated argument, puts the victim on guard. So he's on guard, so he would have a way to protect himself. So that is why it doesn't qualify as murder. He was aware that he can get hurt due to the heated argument. That is from the case of People versus Marcelino and the case of People versus De Mesa. People versus Marcelino is a Supreme Court case number 104. And the other one, People versus De Mesa, is from case number 137036, March 14, 2001. So let me know if you have any comments about this case. So I will see you in the next few chapters that I'm going to be reading from the book. If you have any questions at all, please comment, please like and subscribe.